Welcome to Invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As the current time of exactly noon on Tuesday, December 13th. Hope you guys have a good Tuesday so far. Ethereum coined $1,321, up about close to 4% so far. On the overall crypto market, we can see that clearly on the left side of the chart, we are pretty much green across the board. With respect to the CPI report that came out at 8:30 a.m. on Eastern Time. It was definitely a positive report that came out. So let's take a look at that on a high level verbiage. CNBC has laid out for us quite nicely. So it seems like with respect to the consumer price index has risen less than expected in November, up only 7.1% from a year ago. And you could see that with respect to the consumer index has rose by 0.1% from previous month, but 7.1% from a year ago, compared to the respective estimates of 0.3% and 7.3%. So it's definitely a little bit lower than expected. And if you look at the core CPI has risen by 0.2% on the month and 6% on an annual basis compared to respective estimates of 0.3 and 6.1%. So obviously with this positive CPI report, it does indicate that maybe we are peaking on the inflationary front. So technically, by tomorrow, the FOMC meeting results can translate into a lower rate hike to a 50 basis point in comparisons to the quadruple 75 basis point rate hikes that we've had consecutively before. And before we dive into other the technical front, let's just take a look at other news real quick to see if there's anything that's meaningful that we should really know. So it seems like with respect to the FTX case, he's arrested for sure. As you can see, it's on the headline. And seems like he is fraud. He's defrauded to U.S. wire fraud, security fraud, money laundering, all of these big charges. So it seems like he might be in prison for quite some time going forward. And it's definitely terrible to have these type of things all happening to someone that's only 30 years old. Obviously Sam, he's a smart guy, right? He did things like in a more of an ethical, logical perspective, he would have had, you know, a more of a life that he, someone would deserve, a human being would deserve. But obviously, he took the wrong route, and it's definitely like a hype and a pump and dump type of life cinematic experience that we saw in front of our eyes, right? At one point, he was one of the richest person in the world, being one of the pioneer leader in the crypto space, to now being in prison for a long time at the age of 30. So his life is definitely ruined, and yeah, it's definitely unfortunate to see such great talent, which could have been being wasted this way. And take a look at the BlackRock and the ARK Invest investments, which we like to take a look at. You can see that with respect to BlackRock, it's been a quite heavy, I would say more of a buy day than a sell day in comparison. You could see that with respect to the selling pressure relative to the buying pressure is definitely outweighed on the buying side. And then on the ARK Invest side as well, let's take a look at it, shall we? Yes, we sold some, but like across the spectrum is definitely more of a selling day in comparisons to the way BlackRock has positioned. So obviously, BlackRock and ARK Invest have a very different way of approaching investment. So seems like someone got the wrong side of the chart from their technical point of view. So we'll see how that goes. So let's just dive into technical. So we still, 24 hours away from the next FOMC meeting. So today's CPI report was definitely a good one. So it should technically drive up to the next level, which is where we're at right now. If you look into it closely, we are meeting at the exact red level, which I've identified as a substantive support level. But the real substantive level is 1250, right? So is this long lasting? Let's take a look. So daily is quite extended right now. We are meeting with the next level of consolidation or rejection, which is somewhere around like 55-ish. On the weekly, we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 heads. We should be kind of leaping there eventually. So I think we might get some sort of a relief type of sell off after tomorrow, because of today's positive report, or maybe not, right? We have to see how the risk profile looks like by tomorrow as we get the confirmatory signal. But we do not know the true predictions of like what's really going to happen with the FOMC meeting, right? The Feds might step it up a little bit more, be a little bit more aggressive, or they might be a little bit more lenient. But ultimately, we are still, it's hard for us to predict the true outcome because we only have the pieces of the puzzles that's in place. But ultimately, the decision making process on how this year will end, but also what's the outlook for 2023, that's a seismic catalyst that we need to also be aware of. Maybe they are indicating more of aggressive hikes in 2023. Maybe we are missing something that the Feds need to address on a more of aggressive front. COVID might be another supplementary factor we need to kind of think about. The war, just the crypto crackdown in general. Those are all factors we need to be in consideration, but obviously with different priorities. But on a technical front purely, we are understanding that daily is extended. Weekly, it is looking quite extended as well. And then monthly, it is looking quite bullish. So we might see a short-term pump and short-term dump from here, just as we have been talking about. On the Bitcoin side of the equation, again, monthly is bullish. Weekly, it is looking decent. We are looking to kind of cross down eventually. On the daily, very extended. So this is not long lasting. This looks like we might actually sell off eventually. But like the run is on momentum right now. So let's hope that the FOMC meeting tomorrow will be positive. But if it's negative, we will see some sell-off, and then we will see the takeover of the Santa Claus rally anyways as we approach next week, because that's when all of the catalysts will be kind of solved. We'll have a clear picture on what's going to be happening in 2023, so that will be a different dynamic shift. So it's something we have to think about. On the index front, just take a look at the SPY. You can see that we are clearly broke above the next level of this bar right here. This is like clearly the technical level. But with respect to the daily, we are looking to form a golden cross, but we understand that as we meet to 63 out of 70, which we're almost there with 57 right now, we will get a sell-off. So this seems like we are forming some sort of a cup and handle. So this is a cup. A handle will be coming at 403 if we keep on this bullish momentum. But if we don't, we get a negative report. We might just sell off because the weekly, it is quite extended, as you can see clearly right now. Despite the monthly, it is looking quite consolidated. So again, right, my gut feel is that we ideally need to come down to 385, somewhere around 370, just to normalize the market a little bit more, because you don't just go up in one shot. And then as the bullish trend start to take over, the bull market will begin. And that's when we see the alignment of interest daily, weekly, and monthly all aligned together. But you can see that monthly is already kind of, projecting the trajectory of a bullish trend going forward. Okay. And then, so that's pretty much it, I would say, overall. We have taken a look at the whales activities. Obviously, BlackRock and ARK Invest seems very opposite in terms of the way they kind of look into it. Ethereum, Bitcoin looks quite bullish because of the short-term affectation from CPI report, but we still need to look out for the FOMC meeting as the result on what's happened this year, but also the outlook for 2023. So appreciate you. Have a good day, and I'll check you on the next one. Take care. Bye.